Well, greetings, world, and greetings, Seven Spot. We've got a treat for you today because we're going to talk about carbon fiber. Carbon fiber. And who better to talk to about carbon fiber than David Lale? And I'm going to bring David into the stream today. David,
Good evening.
how are you today?
Good evening, good morning.
Yeah,
Oh, very
it's
well,
good
sir.
morning.
Very well, thank you.
It's good morning for me because I'm broadcasting at 9 o'clock in the morning on, thank God it's on the same day in Vancouver, BC at 9 a.m. And I think it's what, 5 p.m. in England
It
where
is
you
5
are?
p.m.
Well,
Yes.
a great way to spend your after work day. But you are a classic carbon. And
We are.
I wanted to introduce our audience to you, not only because you have a wonderful product and you've got a wonderful industry,
Thank you.
but you've also got a wonderful story. And we were chatting before about, I guess, about your seven story. And that's, we always talk about when we're talking about
Yes.
building, we always want to know the why. And for me, it's always the story of people's lives that intrigue me the best. So tell us about your seven story, because it's a rather interesting one, how you got involved with Caterham.
Yeah, it's well, welcome to the workshop. So, as you can probably see behind me, sort of, we're not in a garden shed. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been a lot of trials and tribulations and all the other pains and joys that go with it all.
Yeah.
So basically, I'd done carbon fiber when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in my 16, 17 kind of years of age, we are down on the south coast of the UK, near Lymington, if anybody's familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was assisted in manufacturing carbon fiber davits. If you aren't familiar with davits, they are big boomerang crane kind of things that go on either the back of the boats or on dock sides, and they help
Mm-hmm.
you lift up jet skis and all the other luxury equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Fell in love with carbon fiber as I realised it's a beautiful product. It's a beautiful material. The properties and the strengths to it was just outstanding. But being a little bit naive at that age, I didn't realise there was any kind of real value or business potential with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew older, moved out of the boat building side of things, and went towards retail. I became retail management of different places here and there. Um, so then I progressed further, and I decided to work with a friend of mine at the time in importing Japanese sports cars. So we started importing cars together,
Mm-hmm.
and it was doing quite well for us. So there was a cars that were selling every 2, 3 days. So it was beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
But the joys of Brexit and everything that came with it, the cars that night with the exchange rate, with the American market, with everything else, a car that we were selling for about £6,000 became 10, 12, £13,000 pretty much within 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So the margins dropped out of it. And being quite quick to adapt, I looked back at the carbon fiber side of things. So by that point, when we were doing the importing the cars, I am good friends with a friend of mine called Phil Roberts, that some people know quite well. And Phil has been fortunate to have a few Caterhams, and I've been out in them several times now, and it got me the urge and the bug and being involved with the seven side of things. So I couldn't afford a full catering by myself, and uh, we all understand that there's so many different levels of sevens, and the catering one seemed to be the one that appealed to me the most at the time due to
Mm-hmm.
probably my size and everything else. But I couldn't afford one outright. So kindly, my friend Phil helped fund part of the purchase of it, with the idea of me buying him out of his half, and still being able to enjoy the cars together and everything else.
Oh,
So absolutely really, really kind gesture. And due to that gesture is one of the reasons why we've worked with that car, and why you probably have seen the Kobayashi style car that we have produced. That has been a little bit of a repayment, a little bit of a showed up what we can do, and that is where that kind of stemmed from and where that came to be. So obviously when we then diversified, and we thought, okay, well, let's look at this carbon fiber. We went to Stoneleigh, and this was probably now talking 5 years ago.
Yes.
So the National Kit Car Show at Stoneleigh, as people are probably aware, 4 or 5 years ago, massive. You had 2 halls full of different trade stands.
Right.
You had sheds full of cars for sale. The fields 4 or 5 pitches deep. And there wasn't anything for caterers. There wasn't anything, the quality that I was hoping to see or expecting to see. And being familiar with the different processes of carbon fiber, regards to resin infusion, pre-preg, wet lay, the standard wasn't there. And I think on another show we'll go through a bit more details of the different processes, so you understand more why and what the differences are.
Right.
But we thought, okay, it isn't there, then let's just make it. So I have always been somebody that's been quite keen to be self-employed. So number of reasons is, what biggest reason is, one, I'm 70% deaf. So me working in a normal work environment, I have found a lot of discrimination. I have found a lot of difficulties with people treating you as stupid, even though I would like to think I'm not. And I will always want to have a little bit of protection. God forbid, touch the wood and everything else, I don't lose my full hearing. But if I did, this is my insurance, this is my safeguard to protect me, my wife, my family, my kids, and everything else. So, and then the second side of that was the fact that I've got a beautiful 3.5-year-old daughter called Fern. I've got a 4-month-old boy called Hugh. And I want to be that father that can go to their parents' evenings, that can go to their plays and not feel guilty, not have to beg to the boss to have that night off to be able to go and do something, which I find family is priority, and it's what we live for, it's what I live for. And everybody that I have working for me and within the company, I want them to always be able to look after their families as well. So if it's scans, if it's school holidays, if it's anything that needs to be, I would want them to experience that. I want them to always make that a priority, and there was never going to be a question of them not being able to sort of do that. I see that.
Oh, that's lovely.
So yes, so that's why I started. So we started, well, we had the workshop in Bournemouth, and that was where we were importing the cars and everything else. So the guy I was doing the import cars with, he went AWOL, decided to sort of chuck in the towel, call it quits and everything else. That was the end of that. So we still had the workshop. So the workshop where I started manufacturing some of the carbon fiber bits.
Yes.
We grew that more and more. It was just a sole trader business at the time. So we looked at some different names of the business. We tossed up the ideas of carbon catering at one point, but we obviously didn't want to fall foul and trying to use any names.
Yes.
So lucky enough, a good guy called Giles has sort of spent a bit of time with me discussing the implications that could happen if we did. And it was actually his idea to come up with the name Classic Carbon, for what I remember. So we ended up registering Classic Carbon and kept that as a dormant company on Company's House, whilst we operated it on the sole trader business, just to see what happens, how it goes. So, and it grew bigger and better. And it really was sort of marketed just by talking to 6 people down the pub at one of the meets.
Oh, good.
So I don't think to this day we've actually spent anything on the marketing at all.
Mhm.
So the fact now that I have a distributor in Japan called Nori, so Garage 7 Japan, if you want anything from the Asian side, tap him up. He's got stock at the moment, and he is regularly buying bits and pieces for us on stock.
Lovely.
We've got other agents that we're talking to and dealers in Germany and France. We've got about 4 different people in the UK that we're using. Sevens Classics being one of our main ones at the moment. So they purchase a considerable amount of stock each month from us. So if speed is an essence, they're always the ones to go to at the moment. And it's just been growing. There's sort of, as you can see, I'm not littered with gold and jewels and everything counts. It's not a rich man's sport. It's not a rich man hobby at all.
No.
So, and anybody that can probably understand what it is like to be self-employed, you're the last person to get paid. You're probably the worst person to get paid. But sort of the richness of my time to be able to give my daughter and son a kiss goodnight every night is sufficient for at the moment. Until they start going to the point when they need more and more, then obviously I'm going to have to start thinking of different things. But we grew it by all the money that was actually getting made was going back into the business. So for me to survive, I was working at a local supermarket as well. So I would be starting the supermarket on a checkout of all things from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until about 10 o'clock in the evening. I would then shoot back to the workshop after that. I would either be prepping some stuff up, or I would be laying some stuff up ready to put in to secure, ready for me to then go to bed at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, or whatever stupid time it is and still is. Ready for me to then come back in the morning to then do a bit more of the process before I then get changed and ready to the supermarket.
Wow.
So this got more and more. We then ended up employing people inside. So I started off with one guy, started up with a second guy. And by that point, I was paying my staff more than I was getting paid myself. So it's kind of like, well, I should really start rethinking this one and then sort of start coming back into the business myself a lot more. So I decided to quit the supermarket side and come in and take a livable wage at the time. We recruited more and more and more. We had one gentleman that we ended up employing, and he was a GRP guy. So he was helping us being able to sort of do some of the lamination on some of the molds and tooling. And he was an interesting character. So he would travel to us, live in a van for about 5 days of the week, and then go back for the weekends to be washed, bathed, or whatever. So obviously Mondays was lovely, but Fridays was getting a bit smelly. So, it was different. But
it's been an adventure, hasn't it?
It's a blessing because where we are, we've got the New Forest around us. So there's many places that you can park up, chill out, sort of camp a little bit legally. So, and when you went to one of the car parks, so there was a guy there that was sleeping in his car. He was sleeping in his car for the last sort of 12 months or so. And there was somebody that he knew that was also doing GRP. So turned out his wife left him, took the house, took the kids and everything else, moved all the mortgage and everything else into her name when he didn't realise it. So I brought him in. He started doing a lot of the tool making for me, realising that obviously he had no fits of boat or anything else. We set him up so that he could use our workshop as an address for him.
Mm-hmm.
He built his life up. He got into sheltered accommodation with our recommendations and referencing. He then managed to get his income support, housing benefit, this, that, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turned around to us and sort of said, got all the benefits I need. I don't need to work. So got us that.
So he's now your production manager, is he?
I think he's completely lost his hands with working whatsoever. So yeah, it's one of those things. You help somebody get on their feet, and then it kind of doesn't work out quite as you hoped.
And then it's bye bye.
Yeah, I think sadly I'm a sucker for those kind of things, and I fall for trying to help out people more times than not. So,
I know the feeling. Can I ask you
something,
David?
Yeah, of course.
Across your shoulder, is that a desk that's next to you? It seems to me that you have some bits of plastic there. Would you mind just showing us a little bit of what you got going on?
I turn it around a bit more.
Okay.
So this is a freezer. I've got 2 test freezers. So the carbon fiber that we manufacture is pre-pro carbon fiber. As I say, I'll go in a little bit more detail with you on another show on that one. Mm-hmm. But our carbon is all frozen.
Yeah, you have to have it frozen. Keep it frozen. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we put on a little bit of a spread just to sort of whet your appetites. So just to show you some of the things that we do, sort of K-series ending cover.
Very nice. Now, I got a dumb question for you. Your business is all for Caterham at this particular point, but as I understand it, it's for Series 3 Caterham, and that's what your business model is around?
Sorry, I didn't catch on, Tim.
What models of Caterham do you produce product for?
What models? Nearly all of them. So
all of them? Okay, I just wanted to know.
Enough now.
Okay.
We got S3 dashboard. We got SV ones. We got the standard S3 front circle wings.
Wow.
Got standard S3 style rears.
Mm-hmm.
So we got CSR style fronts. We got a really nice low profile sort of circle wing. There was a company that used to do carbon fiber a good decade ago. So and it had a nice shape. So but the company didn't last. It went bankrupt. So nobody could actually sort of produce these wings again. So we had a customer that wanted to buy a couple of sets from us. We took the original one that he had, which was quite poor quality. Retooled it up and managed to sort of produce more. So we've got that style of arch. We've also got a wider one, which is about 10 inch wide. So, and we sold a few of those to Australia, where people were running something like a 205, 225 kind of tire. So that works. So that's, as you can see, we do straight weave. It looks a bit dark. Obviously, my camera doesn't reverse it.
Oh yeah, I can see
that. You reflect them.
Yep.
And then, go that way. You can
see what you did. Yep.
Yeah. So we show you a little bit more of the destructibility of it all. We do S3 noses. We do 620 noses. We do the 420 nose. We've got the indicator pods. We've got the fog light boxes, reverse light boxes, the mirrors.
Mirrors. I was going to say mirrors. Yeah. I've seen that before.
Yeah, we just finished up. Yeah, sort of. We like making it difficult for ourselves, so we've got a four-way herringbone on it.
Carbon embedded into it.
We haven't. Sort of. I hadn't put any kind of logos or stickers of any of our stuff before.
Okay.
Because I've never been somebody to be a look at me kind of person.
All right.
So, and I keep getting told off by my staff, by my customers, that we should really start getting some little stickers on it. And I'm happy to hear more opinions and ideas on that. I know that our carbon fiber is one of the best, if not the best quality for Caterham out there at the moment. I will show you some of the other stuff that has been produced on probably another show on that one to see the differences. And the good thing is, we're UK manufacturers. All of this is made here in the UK. And sort of, it's all laminated up behind me. We've got ovens and spray booths and pet rooms and all the other stuff on the other side. So I might show you some of that at some point. Sort of.
I think that would be an interesting little walkabout. I think that would be a very interesting little show. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, for sure. So being a male-dominant workshop, we're not the tidiest. So
well, I've mucked about with a little bit of fiberglassing and polymers myself, so I know it can get a little bit mucky from time to time.
It just spreads. Sort of, one of my guys was doing gel coating in yellow for sort of like a mold that we've been doing for someone else. And the yellow gel coat had just kind of like migrated around the workshop. So, yeah, I talk about you, Tim, you. So, but it's just a really lovely product to be working with. It's really lovely material. So we've been fortunate. Where everything's grown, we actually bought out a fiberglass business. So we were looking to outsource some of the tooling and everything else. And there was a fiberglass business that was just local to us. And due to it being me at the time, and only me at the time, I was trying to see if I could get this fiberglass business to help make some of the tooling so that we can look at different processes and maybe do infusion rather than pre-preg. And they turned around and sort of said, well, the business is actually up for sale if you're interested. So I'm just like, right, okay, what do I need to do for this? So had a Datsun 240Z and sadly sold that to then purchase this fiberglass business. Miss it drastically. One day I might see another one. So, and the fiberglass business was called Ocean Yacht Moldings. So it was a husband and wife affair. They were in their 70s and they've been running it for the past 16 years or so. It's been incorporated probably for about the last 10 or something like that. And it was just a workshop close to home. Got fiberglass. We've got carbon fiber. It can weigh it up and it'd be a business between the two of it.
Yeah.
So, so where the carbon fiber was operating as a sole trader business at the beginning, Ocean Yacht Moldings had all the trade history and everything else. So we then ran both and wanted to see which one was going to be the one that takes off. Fiberglass took off, carbon fiber took off, everything took off. So we've been making fiberglass body kits for the full transit custom vans for people.
Wow.
We've been doing other fiberglass bits for like skids for some little Cessna airplanes, that kind of stuff. So it was well, which one do I choose? So we chose to keep going down the avenue of the carbon fiber side of things. That's really where the passion was. And this year we decided to knock the Ocean Yacht Moldings name on the head. And we rebranded the Ocean Yacht Moldings business as Classic Carbon. So Classic Carbon then became Classic Carbon Limited. It then had trading history. And by being able to get the trading history, the suppliers are then looked more favorably at us. So we then managed to be able to get the accounts that we wanted. We then managed to sort of move from a workshop, which was about 800 square foot. We're now in over 4,000 square foot. So it's a bit messy over there, so bring that back over this way. So we're constantly moving forward, and the only way we're moving forward is because of how loyal and how nice my customers are, and how much they trust us. We're not perfect, by far. We're not perfect. So, but we try and deliver the best quality part we can for a fair price, and we try to be as bespoke, as friendly, as approachable. And sort of, we're the only company that I know of that you can say, okay, well, I want your engine cover, but can you make? Do we go that direction on that bit? Do we go maybe another direction on the other bit? And can you make it blue? And can you put a sticker underneath it with my company on it? And we'd be like, yeah, we can. So we can change orientations, we can change finishes. So you can have gloss straight out the mold, pre-preg,
Yeah.
satin, that.
Hmm.
So we don't have to do things glossy.
Hmm.
So it's sort of that part there, that is literally just straight out the mold.
Yeah.
So you can see it's
It's
not
beautiful.
overly glossy.
No,
It's
it's
just a
beautiful.
nice dry carbon.
Yeah.
So, but people do like the gloss, and the gloss does last longer and cost less maintenance. So it's just
Hmm.
not everybody wants to spend all their time polishing their carbon fiber.
Yeah.
So there's a whole host of conversation in regards to clear coating carbon fiber. So some say you can't lacquer it, some say you can lacquer it. I'm going to believe that you can't lacquer carbon fiber directly on carbon fiber. There is
Hmm.
other processes and stuff that you've got to do.
Yeah.
So I will leave that one probably for another show with us and sort of go through that. But look at the supercars, sort of Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and everything else. There's a
Hmm.
lot of stuff that's got a lot of clear coat on bits, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
bits that have been done in different processes, obviously.
Yeah.
So, but not everybody's got time to sit around polishing, shining stuff up. They kind of, yeah, yeah. I go through that side of things, and I know that is going to bring a lot of discussions and a lot of different opinions.
Well,
By
it's
far,
it's an incredible field, and I'm in awe of it. I mean, I've told you offline that my son does it
yeah,
for a living as well.
yes,
And so I'm looking forward to little snacks and appetizers from you, David, over the next little bit, so we can find out more about the process. Because I know a little because I've done some, but most
yes,
everybody doesn't know a whole lot. Like nobody knows how much work it takes to make a casting. I mean, to to take that wonderful
yeah,
arch that you've got there and say, how did it get from the positive of someone else's arch to a negative, and now to a positive again,
yeah,
and the
definitely.
whole process.
So,
Yeah, all of this stuff is worthwhile stuff to explore because, well, number one, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be interested in it. Maybe they're doing it for their own interest because they've got some project that they want to do. Or on the other hand, there's a whole bunch of people, and I've already been approached by a whole bunch of people who have a catering and saying, where can we get this and where can we get that? And if that's the case, believe me, the first person I'm going to speak to is tell them, look, why don't you call David Lale and he'll sort you out. Now, to that end, because we've been on for almost half an hour, how about if you tell us how we can reach Classic Carbon? Where are you located and what contact information should they look for? Oh my goodness! It looks like you've passed off screen. So at that, David, I don't know how that happened, but you seem to have. There you are. Here we go. One more time.
hello again.
I don't.
We
I
were
don't
doing
know.
so well, weren't we?
No, we were doing so well. I was doing a fill for you. And
Yeah. I wasn't sure if that's the wife pulling the plug. Time to come home.
Well, how about if we do this? Because we've been on for half an hour. As I was saying, if anybody wanted to reach Classic Carbon and David Lale, because I've been approached by people who said, I'm looking for parts, a specific part. Where do I go? And I say, well, contact David Lale at Classic Carbon. But how do they reach you, David?
You can do it in two ways. Sales at classiccarbon.co.uk, probably the most common one. So you can call my sort of mobile or WhatsApp me, 077 866 47447. That's 077 866 47447. To be honest, my phone buzzes left, right, and center all the time with different things. So the email is probably the best way. And also, as I explained before, due to my sort of deafness as well, listening on the phone sometimes not quite as easy as I'd like it to be.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously I can send you pictures and all the other things that might tempt you even further and everything else. So,
And you have a website as well. What is the name of the website?
we have got the website. The website is www.classiccarbon.co.uk, and that's classic and carbon spelt like a normal person, not with a K or a B or anything else, or a hieroglyphic or something like that. So it does say retail order book closed on it.
Mm-hmm.
That is because people like Simmons Classics, CP7s, and that lot do have quite a bit of stock.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something that they can't help with or instantaneously have that kind of product, you by all means contact me and
Mm-hmm.
we can discuss what the lead times are. I think that's the biggest reason why the order book is showing closed on the internet, is because the lead times vary quite a bit at the moment. So suppliers, transportation, couriers, there's a whole host of things that are proving difficult for all of us sort of
Yeah.
at the moment.
Yeah.
So
We're all in this thing together.
yeah. So it's better for me to actually be able to speak to somebody via the message so that we can make sure you know exactly what's going on rather than sort of it being an impersonal click button exercise. So I'm always approachable. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm always, you'll probably get a funny message from me at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning once the kids have gone to bed.
Yeah.
So,
No worries on that. So why
yeah.
don't we put a bow on it for now? Because we've been on air for
Yes.
32 minutes, and
And be bored by now.
I'm looking forward to a next segment, because there's a whole process. There's a whole, your shop is a wonderful story in itself, and we've got a lot to discuss. So why don't we just say
Yeah.
cheers for today, and I thank you so
Yes.
much, David. And I look
No
forward
problem. I thank you.
to, we'll do it again. And I'll say thank you for everybody here at Seven
Yeah.
Spot. And we will see you later. How's that?
Yeah. I would like that. I would like to think we'll put meet up next week.
Mm-hmm.
I quite like some of our viewers' opinions on the timing.
Mm-hmm.
So if people find that it'd be more easier for them to view if we was to push us back an hour later or something like that.
Or
Um,
perhaps if if you'd like, and we're chatting about it, perhaps we can do a recording of what we want to do, and that
yes.
way I can put it into storage on a server, and I can air it at a specific time, and that will work out
Yes.
well. And also, we had discussed, right now you're just using broadband, and if we
Yes.
wanted to do this with a more accurate camera and so on, so we can get some of the details sorted out. Yeah,
Yes.
we've a lot to discuss. We'll do it. No problem.
Okay. And so, yeah, if anybody wants to contact yourself or myself regards to anything that they want us to cover regards to the carbon fiber,
Mhm.
I'm all ears. But
Yeah.
I think we're going to end up shooting carbon fiber. I think we're going to have to drive over some. Lucky enough, this workshop's on a farm, so I might be able to get use of a tractor or something like that. So I don't know. Let's see if we can set fire to it, crush it, and just sort of show you. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It will
So,
be fun. It will be absolutely a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to put a bow on it. I'm going to say thank you so much,
yes,
and we will see you later.
we will do.
Cheers.
See you again.
Cheers.
Take care. Bye
You bet.
bye.
Bye now.